Hello everybody, this is Dro and welcome back to the Redstone tutorial number 11, I believe. And today we're going to talk about hoppers. As you may know, hoppers are really useful and used in a lot of builds, so we go over them right now and then I'll show you a few applications and ask you to build one yourself. So, first of all, a hopper looks like this, and it can also be facing sideways, but it can't face upwards really. And what it does is, it has an inventory, and if you throw anything on top of it, it'll pick it up. Now, it can also pick up whole stacks or half stacks or whatever instantly, which is really nice. And what a hopper can also do is take out items out of an inventory that's above it, as you can see. And also it can put items into an inventory that is below it. So it goes from this chest through this hopper into this chest. And of course, this also works when the hopper is facing sideways. Now, with furnaces and brewing stands, it's a bit different. So what you can do is put in your fuel on the side. This will go in the fuel slot. And you can also put your smeltable items into the top, and it'll start smelting. And then you can also pick it up with a hopper from underneath. And if you have a lava bucket here, that will also pick up the bucket right after the lava has burnt. With brewing stands, it's also a bit different. What we can see here is when we put in something that is not a bottle into the side, it doesn't do anything, much like with the furnace. But we can put in bottles on the side, which will go down here. And your ingredients you can put down in the top, and it'll smelt it. Now, what happens if we apply power to a hopper? So let's try that. As you see, it loses its ability to pick up an item from the inventory above. We can also do that, and it won't do anything. And also it will lose its ability to put down an item into an inventory below it or wherever it's facing into. And if we release that, then it'll start putting it down in the inventory again. So that is pretty much all a hopper does. Now we have a few things that are very interesting for applications and also may seem a bit weird. So first of all, what may be really obvious, we can move items down from really high to really low. This is not really new, I guess. And also we can move them sideways. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is you see those blinking, and an item goes through every 0.4 seconds, or the items go through at a rate of 2.5 per second, which is important for the next one, because this may seem a bit weird. So first of all, if we have a hopper going into a chest and then a hopper below it that can suck items out of it, what will happen to the items? Will they go into this chest or into this chest? Well, for that, we really have to just test it out. And we see it goes through here, but it doesn't blink, or it vanishes faster than here. And the reason for that I'm going to show you in a moment. So as you can see, all the ferns go down into the bottom chest. Now, here's the odd thing. when we put in items directly into the hopper, you see they vanish or they get taken out twice as fast, and they get evenly distributed between the chests. So what you really have to keep in mind here, and this is also why this works, is that we have the one ability of a hopper to pick up items from an inventory above, which the bottom hopper here will do, this one. And also this one will attempt to put any items in it into this chest. So what will happen is it will, every 0.4 seconds, it will put one item into this chest, and this one will pull out an item from here also every 0.4 seconds. So that is why the items go away double as fast. And usually that is a bit of a problem when you have a setup that has like several hoppers going into one hopper. But that's not really that often the case. So you don't really have to worry about that. It's just that you know that or why it happens. Now, what we want to do now is we want to create a sorting system. So we have a chest somewhere where we can put in items that we want to get sorted, and then we want to have an output chest with only items of one kind. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, let's put in... Why do I have these ferns still left? Well, let's put in some items and see if they get sorted. I forgot to unflick this. Not really. Well, that was to be expected, actually. So we can't really do anything here. Also, if we put in items here, they will get immediately taken out. So let's try powering this. And, well, we also kind of expected that. And if we put in items here, nothing really happens. So this doesn't really work with one hopper facing downwards. So let's try another method. When we have a hopper facing sideways, this will stop the items from going down through. So let's see what happens now. Also not really what we wanted. But if you think about it, what can we do? We can fill in all of these slots with just one item. And now what we can do is it'll sort the items. You see it just stays there. But we still have the problem it doesn't go down into the chest right here. So what we can do is try to combine these, because this one takes one out of the top one no matter what, if we have a hopper on top. And this one can sort the items, so we kind of want to combine that, don't we? So let's do that. I've done pretty much the same thing now as I just said. And this one is just equivalent to the one facing downwards into the chest. So let's see what happens when we put that in. Dang it. So what we want to do is we want to power this one on default, because it shouldn't take items out. Now what we can do is put in items right here. And you see it'll sort the items, but it doesn't take them out. So how do we make this hopper pull out items, but still don't pull out too many? And well, the only thing we have really, or the only information, is how many items are in this hopper right here. So let's try and work with that. Just take a comparator output and see how long that goes. So this goes for one block. Let's put in some more items. It goes for 2 blocks, and if we pull out some again, then still 2 blocks. And that was not what I wanted. 1 block. So we can work with that actually, can't we? We just want to pull the bottom hopper. We just want the bottom hopper to pull out items when the signal strength here is more than 1 at least. So let's try to do that. So when the signal strength is 2, we can just put a repeater here to bring it up to full strength. And now we just, when it's on, we want to unpower the torch right here. So let's do that and see what happens. So we have 1 item in here, 1 item in there, and 22 items in there, which is the threshold where the signal goes only to 1 block and not to 2 blocks. So let's put in some more items, and we see it'll get sorted and it'll also get taken out. So that is really great, exactly what we wanted. So this is pretty much how you build an item sorter in principle. Now, compacted down, this would look like this. Again, we go, when the signal reaches 2, we just put it into a repeater and then depower that hopper. So let's try that, and you see it'll work once it reaches this threshold. And you see it'll also blink. That doesn't really do anything because torches take their time to turn on. But you see we have our items sorted down here, and we need to sacrifice some that stay in here and 1 in here. Now, what may happen if you put loads of these next to each other, which you probably at some point want to do if you have a sorting system, because else it could get really, really big. Let me show you how I set that up. So first of all, in this chest, this one is really full, as well as this hopper down here. And this one's also right at the threshold. And also, there's nothing really in here and in here. And we sort here orange wool and here magenta wool. So what happens if we put in light blue wool? Well, it can't go into this hopper. It can't go into this hopper. And it can't go into this hopper. So what it will do is just go into the chest. And what I'm using here is just a hopper distribution system where these will just pull out items from the top if they can. Pretty much like only this chest, but when it doesn't get pulled out, it goes to the next one. So let's put in some items and see where they go. And you see it pretty much does what we want to. Now the problem is when we put in some more items of the full item, it'll start clog up here because it can't go down. And eventually it'll power these. So what happens is that the items get out from here. And now if we put in the wool, it can just go through this hopper. Can it? Wait. What exactly is going on? Ah, okay, it can. It was a bit weird because I haven't seen it here and here, because probably it went out too fast. But you see, it'll break the whole system. So my home assignment for you, the first one, is to find a way to get rid of that. Just a quick hint for that. You probably want to put blocks here and take the signal from somewhere behind here and do whatever you want with that. So find a fix to separate the redstone wires if you have them next to each other. And the second one is we want to build in, how do you call that? An auto furnace array or whatever. Auto smelter, doesn't really matter. So what we want to have is items that are smelted. We put them into here. And what it'll do is just distribute them evenly. We'll see that in a moment if I haven't made a mistake. No, okay. So you see it'll distribute them evenly. And once this all has gone through, which it should have at this point, yeah, then it should just be evenly distributed. So a hint for that, we need to, you probably have seen it, we need to have these hoppers powered until at one point all of them are unpowered for a second and or for a really short time and then get powered again. So the other thing is I would think about what happens when we put, because we have another array here like this, or another hopper chain going over it. What happens when an item goes to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, and what should happen at the end? So this is my task for you. As you see, furnaces take out the baked potatoes from underneath, just as I showed you. And I thank you very much for watching. This has been Dro, and please give a like if you enjoyed it. Please let me know how you did. I don't really want to show the solution. I will put the solution in the description. So if you want to check it, then go down there, and I'll see you guys next time.